Well, I've got a kind of a different All the Mods episode for you today. I am going to be focusing on changes and improvements and mods that I've made to a 2015, 2014, some era like that, of it's called a Sport Club three-place trailer for motorcycles. I'll show you what it looks like. The manufacturer actually mainly makes boat trailers, so if it kind of has a little bit of that look and feel like you'd throw a personal watercraft on there of some kind or whatever, it is actually kind of like that. So I got this in 2015, I believe it was, and realized right away that it had some limitations. And one of the limitations was that the center part here that now has this diamond plate on it was open, and you had to kind of step from cross member to cross member. I think there were like 4 or 5 of them. And what I'll do is I'll put a picture up here so you can kind of see what the original looks like. It's not this trailer, but it's one of that same era. And it actually made a little bit, if you were not watching your footing while at the same time trying to load a motorcycle, you could step right through and have a kind of a bad day. So first 2 things that I had done, and when I say I had done, it's because we have a local weld shop. They've done a lot of work on some of my project bikes, like my Bandit. I've had them put in a new tailpiece. I've had them do some different repairs for welding on different projects and things like that. Anyway, it's called Crystal Welding. They're just down the road from me. Really good people, good place. So the very first thing I had done was, when this thing is original, you can see here's the end point of these 2 outer rails, and this was the original ending point. They were all the same length, with the center one being slightly further forward than the 2 outboard ones. So actually what I had them do is I had them cut, and you can see cut and bend and weld a steel extension, and then put a lip across the bottom here so it was even all the way along. Part of that is just for sure footing, I guess you could call it. When you're loading a bike, you don't want to have to be negotiating, okay, am I stepping further in, what's going on. So that was one thing that I had done initially. And then I had some of this diamond plate put in all the way across, and I thought it was really in good shape. And then I started to realize eventually that the machine screws they'd used to put it in were okay, but not great quality. The ones that are holding it now are much improved. But one of the things that I wanted to do was use the channel like this for holding down, for being able to load a bike and not have to put a bunch of strain on the handlebars and the steering stem and everything by having it held in place with straps. So obviously it's got, the mount points here for when you do use straps. There's, all the way along. There's 6 mount points up there, a couple in the back, all that stuff. But what I had Crystal Welding do was put this channel in place so that here, and of course on the other side's mirrored, so that I could mount easily, mount a dual sport and secure it using these. If you've never seen them, they're called Bikebinderz, and basically there's a pin that comes out. I'll try and hold this pin that comes out. Here we go. I'll take this one out first. It opens up. This goes over the foot peg. So if you have obviously if you have a enduro or a dual sport, this mounts over the foot peg. This locks through it, and then you cinch that up, and the whole thing just gets held in place, and it pulls it down onto the track, so that you have an even loading of your suspension front and rear when you use this type of system. Plus, it's also easier because you can get all different types of you know, these mount type things and put different types of you know, circles or clips, or you know, so you can also have different types of mounts in the L-track here. So that was one thing, and obviously you can see, like on this one and over here, I put some red paint and black paint on the tracks to mark where I've got a couple of different bikes that I like to put in here, and so it allows me to quickly do that. I just have to find the right one of these. I've got several of them. Some of them have different chain lengths. If you've never used a Bikebinderz, it's really a cool thing. It's very easy to adjust. You just undo this bolt, you can adjust where the chain sits, and it's really a piece of cake. It's an amazing invention. The other thing that I do once I mount a dirt bike here on the L-tracks is I will put a strap just above the lower part of the triple clamp, so right about here, and then run just a strap as more as safety than anything else. I don't want to have a bad day if one of these failed, but I don't think, to be honest with you, I don't think either of these would fail. So as part of this process of getting the L-track, I had them cut this out, the original diamond plate, put in this much heavier duty diamond plate. It's like a black anodized, and I had them weld it obviously to the sides so that it was solid enough that, you know, this isn't moving. There's nothing that's going to flex, and you know, I can have the whatever dirt bike, motocrosser, enduro, dual sport sitting here without any worries that it's going to move around. Now, a couple of things that had to happen though too, in order to use the outer rails here for the same purpose, I had to have them mount a small L-track fastener there, and then these, of course. But what we had to do was I had them mount a gusset here, I think that's the right term for it, here and over on the other side, so that when you've got, you know, whether it's your Bikebinderz or whatever it is that's right here putting strain on this, pulling up, that this is taking that strain and that weight to keep it from warping or bending or flexing this part of the rail. The nice part is, you know, with any dirt bike or most motorcycles, the wheels and tires are narrow enough that you can just roll right along here. You don't even touch that edge. You just stay on the inside of the track and come up to where the front wheel will rest. So obviously mirrored on both sides. It actually is a really slick system. So far I've hauled 2 dirt bikes in here, a buddy of mine and I that go riding. So those are the big improvements. Structurally, what's really nice is I can, you know, roll the bike up on the ramp. I can stand here. I don't have to worry about anything flexing, falling through, any of that. Then the other thing that I decided to do is on my own as an improvement was, this is PVC lumber. I think it's a 1x3 or something. And what I did, obviously you can see that I mounted 2 pieces beside each other on each one of the front secure mount, or the secure areas for the front tires, and just I drilled holes and put stainless steel hardware in there. And basically what that does, before, the front wheel would kind of flop around. You know, you'd almost have to, if you hit a bump hard enough, instead of staying centered, it would cock, and then you'd lose your tension on your straps. So what this does is, at least it cuts down the amount of play on the front wheel. And I'll be honest, I don't know why, when they built this trailer, other than just cheap manufacturing or inexpensive manufacturing, they made them this wide. They should have had some other adaptation that they could have done, or some type of spacer or spacing. But the nice part about PVC lumber is it's never going to rot. It's soft enough. You can see I actually, you know, put some gouges in it. It's like, if you damage it enough, okay, big deal. You know, spend a few bucks at Home Depot, get another set of it, and cut some more. It's really easy to work with and use. So this is a great trailer, I will say. I'm debating how long I'll keep it, because I'm thinking more and more about wanting to get an aluminum enclosed trailer, so that I can haul more easily load with a lower height and haul some of my road bikes out with me, like out to the Rocky Mountains, that sort of thing. I don't think this is necessarily the best trailer for road vehicles. I actually did at one point, believe it or not, load my big Yamaha FJR in the center track and had it secured, but it's a heavy bike. It's like 600 and some odd pounds, and it was very difficult to load in there, even though I had a much longer ramp on the back. I've got a couple of different ramps that I use for this. At this point, the other things I've done, again, all the mods, I upgraded all of the light bulbs to LEDs, which actually helps so that I don't have to worry about those burning out, which they do. Just this earlier this year, or no, last year I think it was, end of 2024, I got all new tires, including the spare, and had the wheel bearings replaced because it had been 10 years and probably, I don't even know for sure. I had the mileage written down, but it was enough miles that they were getting worn out or starting to wear. The only last little bit that I can think of is, of course, you have to put your obligatory stickers on the front of it. And the nice part of Minnesota is you don't need a license plate. You just need, because of the size, you just need one of these stickers. It's a permanent sticker, so I don't have to worry about licensing it every year. So whether I keep it, I guess, remains to be seen. It's been a really good trailer. It's been very useful. I've probably spent as much on the mods as I did on the trailer originally. So I don't know if I can, well, I mean, you never recoup that when you sell something, but it's so much better than the original. I don't know, maybe I'll get back some of it. We'll see what happens. So anyway, this is kind of a different all the mods. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and as always, appreciate it if you feel like subscribing or doing a like, all that stuff. Thank you.